Guys, this is Scott with Range Recon. We went to SHOT Show 2020 this year and did some interviews, talked to some folks about some really cool products they're bringing to market, some really out-of-the-box thinking products, and some guys that you know pretty well, just kind of going over some of the new things, innovations that they did with their products. The first video we have for you, these videos are going to be really cool for all you gear guys and gals out there. John from JP, the owner of JP, goes over his new rifle and everything that goes into it. We're going to follow that up with Mars, the Mars Maverick, just really outside the box thinking on a new weapon system that could be really great. The last video that we're going to put on here is a Blackwater video. And Blackwater, these guys really did some cool stuff with their guns. So take a look. They're all going to go over their products with you, and I hope you guys enjoy it. We're over at the JP booth at the SHOT Show. If you guys know JP Rifles, they're industry leaders in innovation and just making high quality rifles. Known throughout the industry, great company. So we're actually with the owner, John. We're lucky enough to be talking with the man, the myth, the legend today about all the innovations that you guys are bringing to the industry with your new rifles. So can you tell us what you've done?
Sure. Yeah, basically? Well, if you know anything about us, you know we're nitpickers. We pick all the nits that no one else is willing to pick. And so our stuff evolves over time. And this is kind of an example of where we've taken it. This is one of our gas guns here, our precision gas guns, formerly called an LRP-07. And this is the newest version. We've evolved this thing. You can see it's a side charger first off, as opposed to strictly a top charge. The advantage of that is the receiver remains sealed up, so that if you're running a can, you don't get any gas in your face. And ergonomically, this side charger beats a top charge any day, in my opinion. The top charge handle on a traditional rifle really is kind of the Achilles heel of it, because if you have to clear a malfunction or something,
you have to get off the gun.
That thing, you have to get off the gun. Plus, that handle sticks out this far. It's fragile. If you bend it, rifle's out of service. It's a lot more robust. So this also has the latest upper receiver we're doing, which is an integral nut type receiver, kind of a semi-monolithic system. And so now this tapered nut here is not a separate part. It's actually part of the receiver, so the whole barrel collar is much more robust. And we included our whole thermofit process directly in this system. If you know anything about our rifles, all of our barrels are what we call thermofit. That's a kind of some voodoo we throw at this. And previously, they were all shimmed. We'd shim those, we'd heat up the barrel collar, and so then when the barrel locked in place, it was so solid, there was absolutely no movement in that barrel, because typically you have this elliptical movement of the barrel as the rifle's under live fire, and that detracts from the overall accuracy of the possible accuracy of the barrel in that system. So now we've done this so that the home user could actually do this pretty easy, because you don't have to be cutting shims and messing with that stuff, which is, we felt, kind of beyond the ken of a lot of people at home. But here, all you have to do is heat this thing up and seat your barrel, get ready to give it a whap in there. Once that thing seats and it sucks the heat out of the nut assembly here, it is in there rock solid with an interference fit to
awesome.
Stay. And so we still have the tunable handguard. Our attachment method here is kind of cool, because we have 4 set screws on a lock plate in here that allow you to tune this so your handguard can be perfectly on bore axis. What that means is all your secondary systems on your laser sighting, secondary target laser indicators, whatever you put on here, is perfectly on bore axis, and that would mean it would be within the adjustment capability of those devices, as opposed to having to mess with it and shim and try to bend things. No. So tunable, extremely rigid. So
I'd heard that some of the military guys, some engineers that have worked for some of the forces, were kind of the driving force behind a lot of these companies. Did that have anything to do with why you guys did that? Yeah,
because the first time I shot the International Tactical Rifle Championship in Gillette, Wyoming in 2003, my whole focus changed from like action rifle 3-gun to long-range precision, and then we started going down this road, and little by little we started looking at the rifle more in terms of duty, reliability, and all these other things which dovetail into the law enforcement and the military community. And actually, this at first was our big entry into law enforcement. A lot of agencies started replacing their bolt guns with these precision gas guns.
Sure.
So now you got suppressors coming on. Suppressors have exploded in popularity, and as you know, gas guns don't like suppressors for a variety of reasons. I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but we have an all-new suppressor operating system that is incorporated in this particular rifle tool. So we've got a doubling the dead blow hammer effect here, and it's all tunable depending on what type of mass you put on here. So if you want to run a detachable can, the idea is here you would adjust the system to last round lockback with your can, and then with the combination of all this stuff, now it keeps the bolt velocity in the sweet spot even with the can on, so that you're not breaking extractors, having malfunction related to bolt velocity.
So you're saving a lot of headache for a lot of guys.
This solves all the problems that suppressor operation on a gas gun has. The next thing is the fouling of the upper receiver and the bolt carrier assembly, because the typical malfunction is after things fall up, because your duty life cycle between maintenance is much shorter on a suppressor run system. So after it falls up to a certain point, well, then as your carry comes out and it bounces out, if things are sufficiently fouled up, it stays out about 1/8 of an inch, and then you got a failure to fire. You got a dead rifle. And so with all this dead blow hammer effect, it has absolutely no bolt bounce whatsoever. So awesome. In high-speed photography, it closes, it just stays closed. So, and it hammers past all that fouling. So it eliminates that possibility of having a dead hammer, a dead trigger due to rifle being out of battery.
Just so guys like me need is another excuse not to clean our guns. But yeah, that's an amazing system, amazing rifle. Did you guys do any work to the triggers on this?
Yeah, you know, we have so many more iterations of possible triggers. We've got a module, of course, with different types of shoes on it. This one has my favorite, the roller trigger, and I kind of thank Tom Fuller for that from Armageddon Arms. He resurrected this whole idea, and I was kind of skeptical at first, but we prototyped it up, and when I got on it, and I realized that it got rid of my flyers. And for years I had to do all the accuracy testing, and anything you can do to get the tedium out of that and make it more reproducer, I'm all over that. And so I always advise people to plant their trigger on a gas gun in the first knuckle, not on the pad, see? So that's the way I fire. I'm choked up and I've got the trigger in my knuckle, and if I'm a little bit off, well, it just rolls me to center, and so I know that my release force is on bore axis all the time, because that is the error. People get off, and so now they're putting a vector on the rifle like this, throwing a shot.
Yeah, it's an amazing trigger. I'll probably have to change to one of those. Tom Fuller, I mean, he's an incredible shooter. And
yep, known him for many years. He's really an outstanding shooter and a very knowledgeable guy, and a real hoot.
So is there anything else going on with this trigger? Have you guys done anything with the trigger, the gun? Have you guys done anything with the barrel, or any changes up on the front of the gun?
Yeah, we've changed barrel contours there again. We've got options that probably more relate to, say, the precision community, or a popular configurations, kind of like this, where we've got an 18-inch lightweight for a combination perimeter, the perimeter precision rifle, but it could also be doubling as an entry weapon for a Benelli rifle. See, pretty handy. You notice it's got a heat sink on the barrel there. That's kind of unique to us.
And that's kind of a heat dissipator, right?
Right, because barrels typically on our gas guns got two really noticeable hot spots right in front of the chamber and one at the port. And with that on there, now the barrel will elevate in temperature at a uniform rate from one end to the other. It dissipates heat much better, 700% increase in surface area right there.
Oh, wow.
And that has a significant effect in barrel life. And if I mention, all our barrels are cryo treated. That gives us three things, cold bore in the group, no thermal drift, and ridiculous barrel life.
So on a gun, let's say a 6.5, what's your barrel or your round count going to be on a barrel in 6.5 Creedmoor?
I don't know if we have a lot of anecdotal information on that, but you usually can take like a triple or quadruple what people are typically getting out of those. I can tell you on the 223s, we have quite a few of them out there that have well over 40,000 rounds that are still shooting. In the 308s, I know, because again, they got longer life. I'm kind of familiar with some more of the data out there. We got people that are out there have well over 20,000 rounds through 308s that are still using.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And with the gassers are becoming more popular now. I mean, it seems like there's a lot more gas matches going on, precision long-range gas matches.
Right.
So I feel like you guys are just going to have a major impact, do really, really well.
Well, we've been working at that, because I really think gas guns are, I love bolt guns too, but quite honestly, you give me a good gas gun with a reticle-based system where I never have to get off it, I'm going to do some damage. That's a system that really works. And my shooting partner, Clark Kennedy, and I, we're both reticle shooters. I saw Clark at the SHOT Show one year, and he was walking down the hall. We had Horse Vision reticle on the back of his shirt, and I had just gotten into that, so I got to meet this guy, and so we became a shooting team, and we were the first gas gun team ever to win a long-range tactical bolt gun match, and this was back in 2012.
Oh, that's awesome.
And that was, we were like 20 points ahead of the next team that was a bolt gun team, which, as you know, in that realm, that's a huge.
Oh, that's it's amazing.
Yeah, we just burned it down, you know, and after that way, I think people started thinking in a whole different way about the potential of gas guns. So the thing is, people don't realize that the gas gun, in my opinion, is more technique sensitive, and that's what we teach at Blue Steel Ranch. We have we'll really differentiate between gas gun and bolt gun technique, and we have a lot of guys coming into gas guns from bolt guns, not understanding that, and they're not shooting all that great. And once we work that out with them, because I look at it, I got bolt gun and gas gun software in my head, and that's what I do. And so once we get them schooled up on how to interface and the proper trigger control on the gas gun, boom, they're right there.
Do you guys do any training?
Yeah, we own the Blue Steel Ranch, which is a 1,000-acre training facility out in New Mexico. We have about a dozen classes a year out there and run 3 different big events out there. It's just a fabulous place to shoot. We have, you know, entry, intermediate, and advanced long range, and we do a carbine course, and we also have specialized training for both law enforcement and military out there.
That's awesome. I want to come out there sometime and check it out. And
it's
maybe. Now, one last question on this. What is the MSRP gonna be on?
They start around the $3,400 range, depending on the option them up. You could spend up to $5,000 on a gas gun. That's, you know, special finish, top of the line, everything. Yep.
Well, I mean, it's an amazing gun, and $3,400 isn't a crazy price.
No, see,
for
when you think about it, that's the thing. We're really kind of a value play.
Oh yeah. You're doing a good job, John. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me. Check them out. If you don't know about JP, you need to know about JP. Amazing company. Take a look. Go shoot some rifles.
Yeah, and there's just hundreds and hundreds of dealers out that are carrying them now, so you can have a look at one somewhere near you.
Thanks. Have a great one.
Thanks, John, for going over everything with us. Amazing weapon system. Guy is super smart, I tell you what. I don't know if I was quite prepared for that interview. The next weapon system we have is the Mars Maverick, and these guys really are bringing something special, something different to market. So check it out. Hope you guys like it.
All right, guys, so we know we're all about innovation, and it's one of those things in the firearms industry. It's really hard to find anything new, but we walked across this, and this is pretty much the coolest gun I've seen this week so far. Could you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, this is the Mars M19 Mustang. Our company is Mars Incorporated. We're from Montana, and this is chambered in a 308, but it's a multi-caliber rifle. So you can change, right now we're manufacturing anything in the 308 cartridge-based family, anything from like a 22-250 all the way up to 6.5 Creedmoor, 7mm 08, and even bigger rounds than that. It is multi-caliber. It operates on long recoil action, like Browning's A8 shotgun. We've brought it into the 21st century by a few innovations. And basically some of my husband's designs have allowed it to be semi-automatic. We have a non-reciprocating charging handle. It's also self-returning. Right now we have an 18-inch barrel. The whole gun weighs about 9 pounds. Like I said, it operates on long recoil action, which allows it to have reduced felt recoil. So someone like myself, I'm 5'2", small gal, I can shoot a 308 or bigger caliber, hunting or for sport, and the felt recoil is something more akin to about a 223 or even lower, depending on how we tune the rifle. There is no gas piston, there's no gas impingement, so there's no fouling anywhere inside the barrel or anywhere inside the receiver at all.
So it makes it for a very clean shooting gun.
Absolutely. The one rifle we've had extensive testing on, we've probably put 1,400 or 1,500 rounds through, and we've not cleaned it at all. It's just like as clean or cleaner even than a bolt gun. So you shouldn't have any carbon fouling at all. This barrel reciprocates about 5.5 inches into the receiver. When it's fired, the bolt carrier group and the barrel completely reciprocate. There's a lever back here that catches the bolt carrier group and it has it remain back while the barrel returns forward. And then at that point, this lever flips and it allows the bolt carrier group to come forward. And as it's coming forward, it picks up around, it chambers it, feeds it, locks it, and you're ready to go again. And that action, the long recoil action, And how it reduces recoil is it takes that peak recoil that you would get in that punch that you would feel in your shoulder, and it kind of evens that peak recoil out over a long period of time. It's a longer action, so it's not an immediate bam. It's more of like a lower slope, so you feel it less in your shoulder. It's more like a push.
It's a long recoil impulse.
Yes,
makes it easy to
exactly.
shoot.
Not short recoil, but long recoil.
That's amazing. Another great innovation about this, because if you have the barrel and the movement system, it allows you to do things like law adapters and folding stocks on it,
Yes.
which makes it a very compact weapon system if it needs to be.
Absolutely. We have a backpack stow mode, which we'll demonstrate here in a minute after we get the rifle back together. But when it's the barrel completely reciprocated and locked, and the buttstock folded, it's about 25 inches. Right now we have an 18-inch barrel on it. We're going to be offering them in shorter and longer barrels. Right now we're getting about 1 MOA out of the rifle. We have trunnions, like guides on the inside here, that have conical mates that as the barrel reciprocates back into battery, it self-centers every time, and that allows us to get accuracy every shot. And we're getting about 1 MOA. We haven't even gotten started into the precision area yet, but we're working on that in the next year or so.
And do you manufacture everything to do this weapon? Or?
Right now it's been manufactured between Montana and Cobalt Kinetics is a partner that we partnered with for a little while, for a little over a year, and they're based out of Utah. We are going to be bringing manufacturing to Montana completely here in the next year. The Cobalt Kinetics worked with us over the last year, helping us submit rifles to the Army's Next Generation Squad Weapons program. And they helped us develop our upper and lower receivers for these rifles here. We may continue to work with them in the future for a while, depending on what the things that their company has going on. But we are building relationships right now. It's manufactured between Montana and Utah. We're kind of expanding operations, seeing if we can build some relationships and go from there.
Awesome. And are you straight military law enforcement, or are you trying to hit the civilian market as well?
Civilian market as well. We really want to target sporting and hunting. We're looking into getting into different types of receivers as well. Maybe not receivers, like stocks. So maybe in the future you might see something like this in a long recoil action with a wooden or composite stock, like you would in a traditional hunting rifle. Depends on what politics happen in the United States and whether people are trying to get away from AR platforms. But we have targeted the military and law enforcement. My husband is career military, and he knows he's an infantryman, sniper trained. He's been deployed 3 times to Iraq and Afghanistan, so he's been on the front lines, and his dream and design has all been put into this to make it the best infantryman's rifle possible. Awesome. And guys,
so I've got some shooting experience overseas as well, and the amazing thing about this is when it breaks down small, you're talking probably this is the 308 version?
Yes.
So this is an 1,800 yard rifle that breaks down small enough to fit in your backpack.
Yep, absolutely.
Which is amazing.
Yep, and if I can demonstrate, it's only really 2 steps to shooting. Once you reciprocate the barrel and lock it into place, we're just using this little tag here as a way to lock it. The future versions will have like a button that will latch it in place. Once that's reciprocated and the buttstock's folded, as you can see, again, it's real short, but it's only 2 steps really to be ready to shoot. You unfold your buttstock, take out that lock, it chambers and locks around, and you're good to go.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for talking to us, and
thank you.
Awesome gun.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.
So, third one's Blackwater. I thought that Blackwater was just a security company. As it turns out, they're making guns and ammunition. So take a look at the new stuff that they have. You've probably never seen anything like it. We hadn't. The guy handed me the gun and said, pull the trigger. Watch and find out.
Hey guys, so we're here at the Blackwater booth SHOT Show, and a lot of you know Blackwater from contracting, but maybe you didn't know is that they're actually a manufacturer and they make some pretty badass firearms. Jimmy, tell us a little bit about this guy.
All right, this is the Blackwater Firearms Century 12. What we have here is a magazine-fed, pump action shotgun, 18-inch barrel, full extrusion upper on here, QD mounts, and the manual of arms, which is really nice, is very similar to an AR-15. So your fire safety selector switch, just like on an AR, ambidextrous mag release, and bolt release right here. Another really great thing about this is the ease of use to take this weapon down. I'm going to punch one pin right here on this side. I'm going to pull it out of this side, and then I'm going to place it right here. Michael, I'm going to hand you this. There's the lower. Here's the bolt and pump, and the tool. If I wanted to switch out this barrel and go to a breeching size, I can go ahead and undo that barrel.
You guys really thought about that then.
There's a lot of design that went into this product, and we're extremely proud of it. Okay, and now I'm just going to put this back together, pop the pin back in. So field stripping, a breeze, super reliable pump, non-lethal rounds feed just fine. Lethal rounds obviously feed just fine. And then, do you have any questions about that before we move on to the next surprise?
No, I think we're all ready for this one though. This is the craziest thing I've seen. When I picked it up, I didn't know what to do with my finger.
That's right. A lot of people look at this and they think it's just another AR-15 until you look a little bit closer and there's no trigger right
Exactly.
there, okay? The trigger is actually the back of the grip. This is called our lever-driven fire technology. And the reason why it was developed is because when we're pressing a trigger in long-range precision, the last frontier is really, with great glass and a great barrel and a great bipod, all of that, it's human error on the trigger press. 1 pound trigger, as good as you can get it, there's always going to be a little bit of error, and that is compounded at distance, 500 yards, 1,000 yards. With this system, we're pressing straight down. We have a lot of strength or bipods in support, holding the gun up versus trying to hold the rifle and then manage left and right variance. And the faster we press the trigger too, we're not always indexing the trigger at the same exact point. You could be moving thousands this way, thousands this way. At 50 yards, that's 5 inches. Pressing straight down, what we've found, not only through the Mantis X device on barrel movement during the trigger press, but a sample of dozens of shooters measuring each group, on average 28% smaller group, just by changing out the lower and keeping all other things equal. And a few other things to mention is it's dead air ready, so if you want to run a dead air can, we have the dead air micro muzzle brake on there. We also have rifle length gas for a nice easy shooting platform. Because we knew we were running with a more accurate fire technology, we did an enhanced upper, so we put more beef right here, which is the weak point of the AR where the barrel goes into it, and then a full billet aluminum buttstock. The MSRP on this, I think, is pretty exciting, under $2,000.
Hey, that's
What
awesome.
you see is what you get. Zero Delta, BCG, Radian Raptor, and MFT and large mag release. All of that is coming standard on the rifle.
How long does it take to become intuitive to fire that weapon?
Good question. What we've sampled, and I did a sample, 9 questions. How did you feel it was more accurate? And then gauge this. And there were 3 questions for that. Then it was, how comfortable was it? How ergonomic was it? And then how intuitive did you feel it was? We got average scores with a 95% confidence interval that it was a 4.5. Very, very high rating that people felt in their mind, that's going to be really awkward and really foreign, versus when they actually shot it, that was a lot more intuitive and a lot more comfortable than I thought it was going to be. For me personally, and I told this story just to a couple other gentlemen, I train people how to shoot AR and pistol and used to do it quite a bit. I had a couple other ARs next to my truck. It was the second day, about 3 hours in and about 400 rounds on about 10 different type of drills. And you know how you grab that tool that you're just most comfortable with, or that pen that writes the best? I just grabbed this one, and once I put my hand on it, I said, okay, that means something to me. I don't know why I grabbed it. It wasn't intentional. I just wanted to grab the one I wanted to shoot. So maybe a day, maybe 500 rounds, somewhere around there, but a lot faster than people would think.
Awesome. And we've got one more thing that we're
We
going
do
to talk
have one
about.
more thing. Here we go.
Everyone wants a 2011 these days.
Everyone has one on 2011. Blackwater Firearms, this is the Raven. It is a 2011. The MSRP on this is $1,776. It comes with the beveled magwell. This quality would feel like it's all hand lapped and hand rouged and polished and all of that, but it's not. This is production quality. And it does have the barrel ports on it. Not on this one. This is the Commander. We have a full size, so 4 1/4 inch barrel, and then a 5-inch barrel. And they're going to come with 18 round magazines. And these launched at the show as well. They're available right now for order.
Awesome. And you've got slide cuts for RMRs and all kinds of things.
Yeah, there's going to be a cut here for the RMR and a plate, so you can run RMR and SRO or a Delta Point on it. The full-size version already has the ports on the slide, so we have a little bit of lightning cut. If you want to port that barrel, that's up to them, whether they want to do competition shooting or what bracket, or league they're shooting in. And then other than that, it's just really, and if you felt it, have you had your hands on this
Not
yet?
no.
Okay, you will in just a second. You're actually I'm going to hold the mic and you're going to go for that.
Fair enough.
Then you tell your viewers what this feels like compared to some of the other
It's a nice light firearm actually too.
And try the trigger. We're pretty proud of this firearm.
That's a light reset too on that.
It's feels like it's hand built for a competitive shooter.
That's a beautiful weapon.
Okay, but these are production parts. Just has to do with critical tolerances and working with the right companies. But when they go together, not a lot of artwork or handwork has to go into it. So precision fine instrument, but at average
Duty ready.
blue collar prices.
Awesome.
That way I can own one.
Exactly.
Or 2 or 3.
You can never have too many firearms.
That's right, you can't.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Jimmy, and thank you for letting us check you out.
All right, I appreciate it. Thanks for coming by, guys.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, thanks guys. I hope y'all like the videos. Keep tuning back, keep checking in. We're going to bring more and more content to you guys, and let us know what you think. If you want to see something, please let us know. And for all you manufacturers out there, or companies, gun companies, if you want us to test some stuff, send it on over. We'd love to.